To the thing about it, I was born October the 10th, 1945. I could have come earlier, but my twin was in front of me. So I had to push him out to get out. It took me 15 minutes after he got out to get out. But I came on out, 1945. He was trying to wait on my mama's birthday. It was on the 14th of October. But I had to kick him out. That's why when I was born, I was sickly because he held me up on the top side. He got all the nutrients I got. I got a little bit of it. And so by the time I got out, I was a sick person. I was sick for about 6 weeks after I got out. Okay, Joe Willie High and Annie Franklin High. They were my parents. They was the proud parents of 3 sets of twin, 11 kids. Me being the baby of the family. And the smartest, and the most studious, and the most ingenious.
It's okay to brag about yourself, I guess.
But back to your mama. During that time, you know, Prairie View was a good school for us. But anytime you didn't have a 75 cents to last your whole week, you was in trouble per se. But what they did to me, like I say, when they dropped me off needing $50. But the dean of men's, my daddy told the dean of men, you're gonna have to keep him down here because he can't come home. He can go anywhere else, but if you don't stay in school, he can't come home. So that's another threat that I had to believe in, because I didn't come out of there till January '69. But I had my master's degree then, but it was a different story. But I believe what he said. But anyway, I had to say this, and I said every time I would come home, I would see her mother, Annie Jo Hyde Jones, and she would slip me $10. I don't know what she get it, but $10 at Prairie View was a gold mine in '64.
She had 10 miles at home.
And she had 10 miles to feed. Now this, I hadn't got to her point because I was trying to get me out so I can get to her. But because she would tell me stuff that I really, being a teenager, you don't like to talk to women about girls and stuff. But I had to. I had to talk to another woman. I can't talk to my mama. But then she said, she told me that one time, make sure you do not have no kids while you're going to school. Graduate from school, get in college, and after that, you know what the thing about it is, she was more educated than I was. Annie Jo was more educated than I was, and she didn't go to college like I did. I don't know, all of those dad and mama, they was all educated better than I was, and I went to college. I don't know where they got their wisdom, all the institutions, the same as Lewis High. What I understand about her, she had more wisdom, and I guess that's what God gave her. God gave her the wisdom to seek, rationalize, and then decide and decipher, and then act. What we call that at DuPont, we call that you act, and then you react before you act. So you don't get in a jam. So the action is to recognize what you're doing. The react is it safe? And then you're going to act if it's safe or not, then you can know what to do. It's 3 functions. And she had all the wisdom that I was taught later on in my life. She had that when she, right here in the local Freestone County. Mm-hmm. So it had to come from God. God gave us the wisdom that I wish I could have have right now. And she instilled it in all 10 kids. And like I said, I if I could again instill it in one, it'd be perfect. But she had it in all 10 of them. Joe Williams had 11. He can do but 2, maybe. But she had it in all 10 of her kids. And it's still in them today. So I really wish, we had a little longer, because she could have made me be a lot better person than I am today, because she had the wisdom that I need for guidance. Because when I got out, and I knew I was smart, but I thought I was anyway. I conquered most of the things. I did most things I needed to do. I taught at Drake University, one of the prestigious universities in the country, as a professor. I left there.
What did you teach?
Education. What we had was in the United States of America back in 1968, doing all the acts. You know the acts, the Civil Rights Acts. Well, in what we was in process of doing, and Jesse was there. Jesse High, my brother, he was there an hour, and he called me and said, "Drake needs somebody like you up here, because we finna develop a program, because our legislature has got into on the beat of changing the way education is taught. Even though I had no formally educating, but they wanted somebody that had a black experience. And I was blacker than all of them, experience-wise, because I lived it. I raised up, because I went to all black elementary, all black high school, all black college, living in an all black neighborhood. So I didn't have nothing but blackness. So when the president of the university looked at my resume, he said, "Okay, you more qualified than all of my doctors with tenure." So he hired me, and we started there. What I was trying to say, we started the change of the Iowa Basic Skill Test, what they use for the education criteria for grading kids all over America. And it seems funny, because when I say Iowa Basic Skills, in 1964, they filed a lawsuit the fact that the test was biased. And what our job was to prove that it was biased. And what we were going to start at it, to start in the podunk heart of America, nothing but corn, maize, and cow. That's all they got out there. And it ain't had no activity like Houston or Dallas. So they're going to start in a state where everything is recognized from that community. So what they did is to state that our basic skill test was biased. So that was our job. We wrote a proposal, sent it to the federal government. They funded through Drake, and I was the administrator of it.
Wow.
$3.5 million, 1972.
Wow. I didn't mean to take it off of where we were going, but I'm glad you threw that in. That's really important information, like for the future. So
The key,
I will keep that. We'll go into that more of that later. Out to you.
And like I said, like my brother was alluding to earlier, I mean, we couldn't buy clothes off the rack. We didn't have enough money. Daddy made, as I said, $90 a month. So a lot of our clothes are made by Mama or Auntie Joe. She could sew, she could cook, and she could make $1 stretch farther than anybody I know. She was tough. And like I say, with that, like I say, all I know that she could do, because anytime we didn't have but one pair of pants, or maybe two, one to work in and one to go to school in. But she made some so we can have a second pair, like you said, had one pocket on it. Because the fact is that we were poor people. We didn't know we were poor until you go somewhere else where everybody got 6 pair of shoes and 10 pair of jeans, wear one day at a time, and then they washed on Saturdays, you know. But we had one pair we had to wash every day, iron every night. She used to come around and cook for Mama, but I think Mama went somewhere. I think she went to L.A. to visit my Uncle Williams, and so she left Annie Jo and them in charge. Well, she let Jesse start cooking syrup. Y'all probably, it's called sugar syrup. What you do is put water, but you put a pound of sugar in water and let it. That's how we didn't have Burr Rabbit. We didn't have Ribbon. We had to make our own sugar syrup to eat with the biscuit that they made. So we did that as early in the morning when we got ready to go to school. But Jesse, and somehow or another, he grabbed a pan and it was hot and he dropped it on his foot. Oh. And Annie Jo, whatever she did, she ran and got something and wrapped that foot up, because poured some cold water on it or got some water out of the refrigerator and just kept it. And that's the only thing saved his foot. He didn't have to have it amputated or nothing, but it burned all the way to the bone almost. Oh. Most people wasn't. I was there, so I know, and I know it hurt. And he was down for account for a little while. And the other thing, we was down there playing around, and the Joe said, "Jesse, get off that horse. That horse gonna hurt you." No, Jesse's hard-headed, just like the rest of his brothers. That horse ran back up and come back on him, broke his elbow. So we had to take him to the hospital, and the doctor up there, he didn't know what he was doing. So it was crooked.
I always wondered why his elbow was like
He never straightened it out. Because that's what she grew up. We grew up being a person who would take care of what she had to do. She always, like I said, if I needed $20, in fact, when I left going to Des Moines, Iowa, she gave me $50. Y'all don't know about that because y'all shouldn't have told me.
So it's like
she had the way of getting things done.
So it's like, okay, from
that ex came from her daddy. So you got 2 exes, one from your mama and one from your daddy.
You think that she really, really took from both of them?
She got it all. See, I might have got it from my daddy a little bit, because they call me sometimes Joe Willie Jr., but that's a good thing. I say thank you very much, because I want to make sure they understand who I am. I am Joe Willie High and Annie Franklin High baby boy. And so I got all the exes, and after they stopped having babies, I had them all in. Yeah. Yeah. But she got 2 of the best exes, and 2 exes that you can get from both parents. And see, what I didn't tell you, what he didn't say, Joe Willie High took care of all of his siblings' stuff. But what I did find out, that because like I say, growing up as a baby, she was still part of our family living. That's what I was trying to say. Because she played basketball, we used to go watch her and run track. Whenever Dad let us ride the bus with him. What her deal is about her living in my life, she was, and as Louis High say, she was my mama's image. But that other X chromosome that she used came from her Joe Willie High. But she got that one X as know how to do things, kitchen soul and all that, but to be stern and ready to handle your business, that was from Joe Willie High. To be the sympathy part of it, be the passionate part of it, that came from Annie Franklin High. But she was both of them.